everybody, welcome to this new YouTube live streaming. I'm so excited today because I'm gonna show you how you guys can create a symmetry, okay? These are going to be a very awesome lesson. Please stay with me until the final, okay? And before we get started, let me tell you in case you are new on here, okay? My name is Jonathan, I'm a game artist, I do illustrations. And let me show you, from my website so you guys can see the things that I have already done, okay? I do icons, illustration, objects, a lot of stuff, characters, and even 2D animation, okay? I do 2D animation as well. And of course, in the future, I want to bring a lot of courses, lessons, even more lessons. But for now, I just have the Patreon, where you guys can grab tutorials on there, a lot of tutorials actually. And let me share with you another stuffs about the Affinity Designer, the Affinity Serif. I did this project, where I won actually the reward, and they invited me to make an interview, so you guys can enter my website, and on here you guys will see this link, okay, Affinity Spotlight, and I had an interview with them. Okay, so you guys can read about a bit more about my history, the things that makes me to become a gaming artist. This is something about my thoughts as well. So if you guys want to learn more what I think about the area, so about social media as well, and you guys can get on here. And look, I'm gonna turn off here the lesson from the past week, okay? It's not going to be available anymore to watch, okay, because it's going to be available only to the patrons. All right, so the same for this lesson on here as well, okay? If you don't watch, you're gonna lose in case you don't watch the entire lesson, unless if you are my patron. Of course, you can watch at any time when you want, okay? This is why I'm doing this lessons, because of the patron. The patron is supporting me to bring these tutorials on here, okay? All right, so let me open the project. Okay, this is the project that I have on here. And look, I'm gonna do a Discord session, a meeting with the patrons after the live streaming, okay, just to let you know. And look, about the symmetry, the first thing that you guys need to do about symmetry is this one, okay? Symmetry is when you have equal sides, okay? We have flowers, we have the face, human face. Let me show you in more a practical way how this works. I'm going to create here right now a pixel layer. I'm gonna click here on the raster persona. Okay, the raster persona is where we can make sketches, okay? And on here, as you guys can see, here below, we have this panel. This panel here allows us to create the grids. But I think you guys cannot see this grid because it's a bit white, okay? So I'm going to make this a bit dark, so I think you guys will see a bit better. Look, I'm gonna grab here, and this is the symmetrical tools that we have, okay? For example, if I just keep two lines, it's going to be symmetrical in this line on here, okay? So if I start to draw right now, let me show you an example, okay? Let me change this color to white again, and I will create with the pixel layer, right? And I'm going to grab here my sketch brush, okay? Hello everybody, hello Tick, Bumper, Priyanko, Micro, Sebo, Lucy, and Brando. Welcome guys. Okay, so I'm going to just show you. So I need to activate here the mirror, okay? You need to activate the mirror. And look, for example, if I want to design a face on here, okay? So you guys can start to design a human face just by using the symmetry, okay? This is just a sketch, okay? Just show you. So you guys can start to make a character, right? So of course, for the hair, probably you guys will have some problem, if the hair is not symmetrical. So you need to deactivate on here, okay? For example, to make the hair like this, okay? Just example, okay, guys? This is not the tutorial about how to create characters, because it takes a lot of time, to bring tutorials like this, and you guys can just see how this works. And look, if you guys use if you guys use Procreate, okay, on there, I really think that is better, to be honest. I think on there is better. Let me open here the Procreate about the symmetrical mode, because I think the as the Procreate is more, you know, minimalistic software, is very, you know, very simple. So you guys can activate on here the drawing guide, you know, using the editing guide on here. Okay, just show you what you guys can do as well. Okay, and you guys can create, for example, using the symmetry mode as well, like I'm creating here. Okay, look, is for me it performs much better, you know, than Affinity Designer, but you know, you don't have control over the vector. You know, this is a raster paint, and you guys don't have any control over the shapes, the colors. And the lesson for today is not just about the symmetrical, okay? It's also about how you guys can use vector, okay? About symmetrical. Let's open now back to the Affinity Designer. And okay, I'm going to make here a very simple design, okay? I hope you guys are understanding what I'm talking about symmetry, all right? If you have questions, just leave it to the final, okay? And look, I'm going to start here with the tier, okay? I will create a vector layer. I'm going to grab the color as well, okay? And look, I did this shape here, just this shape, okay? And look, you guys, you can change on here the shape, okay? But I need to know how many sides this flower will have, okay? In order to do that, I'm gonna show you a very nice technique, okay? I'm going to turn on this a bit black in order to see the raster guideline, as you guys can see on here, okay? And what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm going to work over the radial symmetry, okay? So we have on here the symmetrical. I will add 3, okay? And as you guys can see, we have these lines on here, okay? All right. So I will draw on here just some lines over these lines on here. You guys will see right now. Let me show you, okay? And let me activate here. Okay, this is just a guide, okay? Because look, if I turn on to the vector mode, what's gonna happen? This line will disappear, okay? The guide for the symmetry. So basically, let me show you. I'll bring this onto here, okay? So I'm using now the vector mode, okay? So here we have 6 sides, okay? And look, you guys, I'm going to open the symbols tools, all right? And I'm going to create right here, add symbols from selection. You need to keep this selected and click here, add symbols from selection, okay? So we have this symbol, all right? Click here, insert, and you guys, you know, can change right now the position of the symbol, okay? And look, we have, look, pay attention to this process, okay, guys, if you want to learn deeply. We have this point on here. It's called pivot point. If I rotate this, look, if I rotate this on here, it's going to rotate from the middle. But if we bring this point on here onto here, this point at the middle, remember about that line that I did? Okay, so now I can change onto here, okay? And let me grab this and let me do this again so you guys can see. Duplicate, bring this onto here, okay, at the middle, and now rotate, okay, until here. And now if I duplicate, it's going to replicate, okay? Look, we have the flower already applied, okay? So we can fix this, you know, by changing a little bit the position, okay? And also, for example, if I change on here one side, just one side, okay, like this, okay? If we change just one side, let me deactivate the line now. It's going to change all of other sides. For example, now if I use the fill tool and bring the dark side on here, look, and let me just fix this one. Okay, now it's correct. Look, this is the symmetrical mode, okay, from the flower, and you guys can change, you know, this shape on here inside of the symbol, okay? So for example, if you change on here and make this a bit dark, you guys can see how this works. And look, you guys, remember about the tier shape that we did? Yeah, that one. You guys can change the shape on here. Look, we have the curve. Okay, look, we have the curve. All right. Okay, so you guys can change this curve on here. And if you want to make a camera lens, you guys can do this technique as well, if you want. And I can change this a little bit like this. So basically we have the the shape for the flower already. Okay, and you guys can make some adjustments, if it's not very symmetrical. It's because we are using a pivot point, and if we duplicate, if we have just a small difference between the rotation, it's going to make a little bit space wrong, just a bit, but you guys can adjust later on. Okay, and look, you guys, how nice is this? If I duplicate this layer, okay, this tier, and bring this onto here, of course, again about the pivot, you need to drag inside and into the middle, and you guys now can just change. Look, you can make something like this, okay, and bring, of course, this below. Okay, and you guys can do a lot of stuff just using the symbols. Okay, and all right, so I'm going to do right now in the above, okay, a circle, a small circle on here. Let me grab the color first. Okay, color, and now I'm going to, with 3 fingers, I'm going to drag and release on here. Okay, and look, you guys, how nice is this? We have the shape, okay, this circle, and I can also, for example, change this shape on here as curve. Okay, for example, remember about this curve, 2 curves. If I click here, I recommend you to make backups. Okay, I highly recommend you to make backups. So to make backups, click here, duplicate. Okay, all right, so we have 2 shapes, and hide this below and convert it to curves. Okay, why? Because now you guys can change this. Look, you guys can change this and make whatever you want. Look how nice is this. Look, you guys, how amazing is. Okay, so if you ask me, how can I change just one side and not the other sides? It's very simple. You just need to click here, in this button, and you guys now can change this. All right, and of course, if you change this color, you need to, if you want to change all these colors together, you need to enable again. And now if you change this color, it's going to change others as well. Okay, this is the technique. Please, if you are enjoying this lesson, make sure that you guys hit the like, because it's very important to this channel. Okay, and also you guys can become the patron in order to support these efforts. Okay, thank you. And all right, so we have this this shape, so we can change this, but if we change these ones, it's going to change others. So be careful, right, about this. If you change something without the sync enabled, you guys cannot change this again. All right, I hope this is being very clear for you. Let me back this, okay, because look, I could do this very fast, okay, but I'm trying to explain as best as I can, okay, because I know some of you are very beginner and don't know how to start this. Okay, so I'm trying to do a very slow mode, I'd say. So I'm thinking about to make something like this because I like this organic shape. All right, or very organic, simple, and okay. Look, I did a shading on here, as you guys can see, from a shadow with a bit of normal color, I'd say. And I want to make, on here in the shape, a fill tool, okay, using the fill tool, and I will use the elliptical mode because now I can make this with just a bit of orange. Okay, look how amazing is, how nice it is. Okay, look. I really suggest you guys, about the colors is something that requests you a lot of, observation skills, art skills, I'd say, in order to have a very fast color selection. Okay, and look, guys, just let me know on the chat if it's working well. Okay, if it's not working properly. Okay, and I think it's good for now. Okay, and I will create for now the character. I like to create characters, and I'm gonna do. I will design right now eyes. Okay, I'll bring this as dark, a bit more brown. one of my first tutorials on YouTube, it was instead of zombie, it was the flower. I think you guys remember if you watch until there. Okay, so we have these two eyes, and I'm going to let me duplicate this onto here. Okay, this is the mouth. The technique here, pay a lot of attention about this. We have the ellipse tool. Okay, all these shapes on here, we have some patterns that is already addressed on here below. This panel, I'm going to convert pi and bring it to boom. We have a shape on here. Very simple and easy, guys. Okay, this is the Vectorize. The Vectorize is made to help you guys to build things fast and easy. And you guys can change the positions, whatever you guys want. Okay, and I'm going to duplicate these both shapes, bring it to here. Don't worry, this is not a spider. Okay, and I'm going to increase this onto here, make this as pinky. So we have a character, very simple and fast. Okay, and we are changing this at the same time. Okay, and let me just look. You guys can click on here and change this separately. Okay, it's very nice. Thanks to the Brando. Brando told me about this functionality. He's a patron. And look, we have here these eyes. Okay, so I'm going to make a small highlights because I like the highlights. Okay, and I'm going to make this white. If I use symbol tools, of course, this can be replaced, easily without making. Let me apply this onto here. And look, you guys, one thing that I really, I think is better to duplicate, because if you make this, a bit different about the eyes. Let me duplicate and bring it here. I think it's better. If you make it just a little bit different, you guys will notice a difference. If you bring this too much big, I'd say it's going to be very different. And duplicate, I think this is better. Okay, so guys, my advice is on the Vectorize process. All my philosophy, my methods, I try to give you all my best about the process, because if you fail at the process, you are going to feel a lot of frustration. I know this because when I was starting, it was very difficult, because I don't know how to, at the beginning, I didn't know how to organize my project. So use the layer system. Take your time to organize your project, to make, the groups, so I can change this. If I do animations, as I work with animations as well, open Affinity Designer. I have a folder especially for the Affinity Designer. I will say, look, try to, guys, don't be afraid to to make mistake. You can just 2 taps and back. Sometimes people have afraid to make mistake. Do this and see how it works. Okay, don't be afraid to try. Okay, if you make mistakes, you can back anyway. Okay, look, and just make some paintings on here, texture. Okay, and I can make a bouncing light on here, very small bouncing light. Let me reduce the light. Okay, look, the bouncing light will give a better feeling. Look. Boom. You guys can use the vector brush. Okay, guys, let me know if the internet is working, please. Let me see here, because I don't know if it's working properly. Hello. Let me open again. Just a second. Just check here if the internet is working. Okay, it's working. Okay, so it's working. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Terry Rivens, to let me know. Guys, it's very important to let me know if it's working. Okay, a few minutes, but okay, guys. Thank you so much. Just to check, okay, because I don't want you guys lost any step on here. Okay, I truly give a lot of value for your time. This is why I try to do things here a bit fast. Showing you what really matters. Okay, so It's too strong. I'm going to delete this. And just a very small subtle, I'd say, like this. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to make a texture for this guy on here. It's quite simple. We have this shape, okay, and now, oh look, if you keep this selected and you guys, for example, select this color, okay, I like to use the color pick from here, and I can just decrease. And if you start to paint, it's going to create automatically inside of this layer, okay, inside of this ellipse. So you guys can and paint a bit. Okay, it's just to make a texture, boom, like a superpower. Boom, boom. Guys, you know, it's very nice to work with art because of this. Really, I don't like so much, you know, Procreate, because on there I can't change the shapes, and I really struggle about the line art. Really. Okay, I think it's good for now. This one. And look, if you want to change, you know, this light on here from the middle, you guys can back to the vector and change the fill tool. As you guys can see, quite simple, isn't it? Guys, Affinity Design is really amazing, really. I'm not getting sponsored by them, really, nothing, zero. I just want a reward from my work, nothing more than that. Look, and here we have this. Just change, okay? So you guys can change this whenever you want. And also the colors. Look, if you want to change the colors, of course, I mean, back here to save. Okay, wait to save. Make backups. Please make backups in order to, you know, to save this. Be careful with the raster mode inside of this one. Look, we have some bugs. It's normal because this is a new software. We have some bugs. In case you, for example, try to move this, so try to create another layer, or avoid some bugs that you guys are seeing. Okay, if I duplicate this, probably, I don't know if I can see, but since that the raster just disappear, it's a bug, it's normal. But another way, it's good to know, to let you know that, because I can change the color without duplicating. For example, I can use the color overlay. Okay, I'm gonna use the color overlay. And the layer effects panel, I can change one here and just try here if some of these will work. Okay, it's not 100% sure that this will work, but you guys can try to use, you know, different compositions like this. Okay, look, it's a light. Look, I really love to use the layer effects mode because I can change, you know, the composition easily. Okay, look, I can change the pinky. You know, as I work for games, you know, guys, it's a very hard field because, oh, look how amazing it is. With the hue, you know, I just tap here, I don't have a script, I just use this. No, this is not the way that I work, okay? And you guys can change one here just by the hue, okay? So here we have a nice result already. But of course, if you use hue, this one here, you guys will have a problem, you know, about the colors composition, because, you know, this is a flat color, just 100% blue, okay, 100% blue with light, with white and black, only that. But if you use with others kind of compositions, let's see, for this one, the pink light, okay, it's going to have a purple, pink, a bit of yellow perhaps, so it's up to you, okay? I'm just telling you the things that you guys will find and not, okay? So this is just extra and bonus content that I'm showing you on here, okay? Alright, so you guys can make different colors, duplicate this. I don't know if you have a bug, but let's try to duplicate. Yeah, where I have a bug. So don't try to move. If you have a problem, don't try to move, okay? I think I like this color. I think about to keep with this. We have the red, the pinky. Oh, look how beautiful it is. I really like this one, guys. Really, I enjoy it. Okay, and now look, you guys can make this a bit more realistic if you want. I don't know if you guys like a wrist, but you guys can make this with a bit of Gaussian blur, just a bit. Okay, very slight Gaussian blur, and you guys can apply, let's see, the outer shadow. Okay, for example, the outer shadow here, apply the radius. Try to explore, okay? guys, try to explore. Don't be afraid to experiment. Okay. And if you want to learn even more, you guys can enter my Patreon, because on there you guys will have a lot of extra content. Of course, you know. So on here you guys can change. Of course, it's too dark, and you guys can reduce the opacity on here. Also the blend mode, as you guys can see, and yeah, like this. Okay. You guys can do a lot of stuff. Look. I don't know if I would do the, you know, the body. I'm still thinking. Okay. Let me change this background. Let's see this one. Oh, look how beautiful it is. I really like, you know, vibrant colors like this. Let me see the yellow. Like this. I like this composition. And look, you guys, you can change a lot of stuff. You can change the size. You can change many stuff. This is vector, my friend. This is vector. If there is something wrong here, I don't care. You know, this is vector. I can change any time. You know, and let me change. Look, I can also make different eyes. Look, before I'm, you know, I've just finished this tutorial basically, but I want to show you the other things that you guys can do. If you want to create different art styles, you can just bring on here. I will make the Gaussian blur for this, you know, these cheeks. Okay, make it a bit red, just a bit, just light. And let's see about the eyes. You know, you guys can make different eyes as well. For example, oops, this here. I will duplicate these eyes, and right now, because I'm doing backups, okay, I can just resize this on here, make this as white, duplicate this again, make this with a you know, size that is little, and look, we have a different eyes already. Duplicate this onto here. Look, we have other character. So it's quite simple. You guys can change at any time. Okay, these are just example. Okay, about what you guys can do. You guys can change the color of the eyes. Guys, the vector is amazing because you can change when you want. So if you plan to do that, you know, these things on Procreate, you're gonna struggle. You need to draw. You need to draw and drag. God, this does not work for me. You know, I give a lot of value for my time. I don't have time to lose, really. And look, I can just make this and here, and I will clip this. Okay, I will clip this inside. Look, it's crazy. So try to play around. Okay, like this. It's a bit crazy. All right. So guys, that's all for now. Let me show you before we go. Okay, if you want to enter on the Discord, you guys can join on the Vectorize Club. On there you will have a lot of, you know, lessons as well. And let me back onto the normal thing. This one. Okay, this is the normal. This is the result that we got so far. And look, I'm doing recently the sketch chamber provided by Kina. Thank you, Kina, a lot. She's my patron, and we are meeting, you know, on even Brenda. A lot of guys on there is joining on there because it is a new, you know, Discord channel, and on there I'm doing daily sketching. Okay, I'm trying to improve my drawings because, you know, to be honest, sometimes I struggle about drawings, but I have all the idea in my mind. Okay, I just need to to improve my line art, I'd say, but I'm making some daily drawings in order to improve. Okay, look. So basically here I try to experiment a lot of, you know, just small brushes. There's not a rule. I just try to enjoy as much as I can. Okay, this is just show you. Okay, so in case you guys want to practice, the Vectorize Club is a very awesome community because we want to encourage you to learn. Okay, we are self-taught community, guys. Okay, we are self-taught community. If you look at my background, I came from a programmer. You know, I was coder. You know, and since then I just turned it on like artist, and I've learned everything by myself, you know, studying on the internet. And basically the Vectorize Club is you guys need to study. You know, if you get into the Vectorize Club, of course you're gonna have a lot of tutorials already. I think we have with this all the live streaming included, the exercises. This is just a test, okay? I was trying to do this while I was watching, okay, and watching the movie actually. And it's very important to practice. It's very important to have some people that will encourage you. Because if you just post on social media, sometimes people will not. You get angry at you somehow. We are living social media days. It's very hard. And yeah, so I think this group is growing a lot. We have around 121 people, for now, and it's very awesome, because with more people, it's not just good for me, of course not. It's for everybody, it's for everybody that is joining on there. And look, you guys, this one is for the first day. I did a lot of drawings because I was very with a lot of energy, and with more time you every day practicing. Sometimes you get a bit low energy, some days. And at the beginning I did a lot of drawings, and yeah, just make some tests. And the final thing I want to share with you is about the vTober. Okay, next month we're gonna do the vTober. Let me open my entire camera right now. But it's just the last one is this. Look, I'm really looking forward to start Vectorize, and I'm still considering to make live streaming daily. I don't know, because it's hard to explain all the time. It demands a lot of attention, energy to the things around me, etc. And when I do the things just by myself, sometimes it's better. But this is why I'm considering to make some live streaming, during the vTober, entire vTober, making these vectors. I don't know. I'm still thinking. Okay. And if you guys support this idea, you guys can comment here, because I will do a list, for all the 30 days, for the vTober, and you guys can grab my characters. You can vector my characters. Like, I allow you guys to grab. I can export these drawings in case you guys want to vector. Okay. And yeah, I'm thinking about that. Okay, let me here my screen. And yeah, this is something that I really think that will be very good, because Inktober is a event that is more for inking. But I'm not an inking guy. I don't make traditional drawings. I'm not a traditional guy. I'm digital artist. So and I'm still thinking how I will manage that. So this is why I'm still preparing my mind to see how this will work. And also I'm planning to make some courses, where people can learn, the basic about the Affinity Designer. I know that sometimes my tutorials can be a bit difficult, because I try to show as maximum as I can in a short time, because as you guys can see, some people just join, and 10 minutes later they get distracted by the social media or Netflix, or someone call them. The time is nowadays is hard. It's very difficult. This is why I try to rush sometimes my tutorials. Yeah, but I want to bring the course, and I'm considering also. Just let you know about everything that I'm gonna do. Okay, for the patrons, for the Vectorize. I'm gonna do a super, not super, but for the time that people is sponsor me on the Patreon, I'll give a percentage of discount for the course that I'm gonna release. It's not released yet, of course, because I still need to plan. Because I want to create the best tutorial ever, the very easy, simple and fast, for the process that you guys can do as well. I'm thinking about Udemy, Udemy, I don't know, or Skillshare, or even I will try to create a course and I will release in Skillshare, Udemy, Gumroad, in all the platforms. But yeah, I'm still thinking. But before I go, the last thing, I started this YouTube channel basically 2 years ago. I had no plan to start this, to be honest. And some people just ask me, oh, please do some explainer tutorial. And since then, I've started to bring some explainer tutorials. Telling you how to do that in Affinity Designer. So if you guys look at my first videos, it was very bad. My English is bad as well. The quality, camera, everything. But I've been working really hard, since then in freelance jobs, in order to let me show you, in order to build, from this. Let me show you. It's because it's on here, okay, in the interview, so you guys can look. from this. Ah, from this. Okay, from this was my first setup. Just my microphone that costs, oh my gosh, it's very cheap, bad quality. And to this is my new setup now, but it's not just because of the Patreon. Okay, the Patreon is a very low, I'd say, how I call this, I forgot how to pronounce this word in English, but this is my new studio, new setup. Okay, so I'm doing everything on here because I've worked really hard, for my freelance jobs. So all this experience that I got from this life, creating games, a lot of images, per day. I want to share with you. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that I really want to share with you. Okay, by the time, of course, I want to make kind of these characters. Okay, I want to build courses like this, but it's not so simple because if I show you how you guys can do this, you guys will do, of course, but you guys will be copying me. You guys will not be understanding deeply. So I want to bring here some concepts like this. Let me show you why it's not working properly. It's here. This is why I want to bring this concept, okay, about human anatomy, the face, how this works, the character design, how this works, okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I hope you understand everything that I told you on here. Okay, a bit about all the things because this is the 40 tutorial that I did, and it's been a very huge challenge for me. It's not easy at all to bring every day, not every day, but every week, but every day think about the next week, the next exercise, the best exercise that I can provide on here. Okay, so guys, I will be on Discord in a couple of minutes. Okay, and I will start my drawing daily challenge. Okay, thank you guys. I hope to see you in the next week. Bye bye. Thank you, patrons. See you. Where is the engine? It's here.